Hi everyone, BricksMembers version 1.3.0 just launched. So I thought I'd give you a little update here because we added quite a few new features that enhance the experience a bit with BricksMembers. So we're starting on the modules page. Specifically, what I want to get into is the new content fields feature and also a new content editor that we have. I will show you that in a moment. You don't have to activate that. But content fields is essentially custom fields. It replaces external plugins such as ACF because, well, I think we should stay as slim as possible, as sleek as possible when it comes to plugins we use with our WordPress installations. So I think some functionality like custom fields should be included in BricksMembers for that reason. And yeah, that's why I thought let's add that natively so you don't need to use any external plugins anymore. And also we're adding SCORM support here in case you're being a bit more professional when it comes to SCORM features. I'll show you in a second how that works. And also, let's actually start with that here on access control now in version 1.3. You have the new sessions feature here. So essentially, you can enable session limits that users, like logged in users, can only have a certain amount of sessions. So here, for example, you can just insert 3 sessions, for example, let's say one on their phone, one on their tablet, and one on their desktop computer, whatever they have there. So you can select that and have a lot of other settings here. You can also select a session management page, which is important, like a page that you set up where you place this element here on the new BRM session management element, because as you can see here, there just shows you all the sessions and you can end them whenever you want, or like the user can end them. And it's important because whenever the session limit is reached and a user tries to start a new session, then he will automatically be redirected to that page where you can place a message saying like, hey, your maximum session limit is reached, you have to end another session to start a new one here, or something like that. So yeah, here you can set everything up. You can also define role limits and limits based on user levels, depending on what user level someone has, how many sessions he can have. It can also be used for like to prevent account sharing and stuff like that, you know? So yeah, useful new feature here, and it's directly available. You don't need to activate a module on it because it's kind of a feature that should always be available. And then next up is our new content editor, and that's what I'm pretty proud of. Like when you go to our content structures UI here, then traditionally you only had this quick edit modal here, which isn't that great, to be honest, because it squeezes everything together. And for content editing, it wasn't that good, to be honest. And so I came up with this new content editor. I will show you that in a second, because basically there are 2 ways to reach that content editor. First here, when you click on content in the content tab, then it opens, so you can see it already. But also, like, this always opens just the first post in your structure. You can also open that by clicking that edit icon here, and that is an important change because previously when you click that icon, it would open the page in the native WordPress post editor, but that's now happening when you click on the WordPress icon instead of the edit icon. So if you click on that, then it just opens here in the WordPress editor like it should. And yeah, but we want to get into content editor. Let's say I want to open this lesson here, then I just click this pen icon. Then we're here in that lesson directly. And now you see this is perfectly optimized for all your lesson content. Like some of that is similar, of course, like WordPress, like your permalink, status, and author. Here you have all of that. But then when it comes to media, for example, you have the video URL here directly and all the connectors. BRM, like video image fields, featured image, everything you have there. You can set the access directly, enrollment, drip, everything you want. And then the main feature here, of course, is that you can actually edit your post content there in a big screen instead of having that small one that we had before in the quick edit modal. So that's a lot better now. And also custom fields, like this integrates with advanced custom fields, for example, here, like when we click on advanced custom fields, you see we have the demo group and one test field here, just as an example. So when I go back, you see Yes, ACF custom fields. But as mentioned before, you don't necessarily need a custom fields plugin anymore for that, because you can just activate the content fields module, and then it updates here, like it shows all the content fields. Now here I prepared some already that you can see, like a text, a range field, and a repeater. We even have repeaters there. But let me actually show you how that works. Like these fields also show up in the native WordPress post edit screens as custom fields. So you don't necessarily have to only use them here. You can use them wherever you want. But let me show you how that works. So I turned the module on before, and now you see here we have content fields, and I call that content fields instead of custom fields, because we already have the user profile fields here to create custom fields for users, for user profiles, right? So and that's why that's here on the content fields page now. There you see I already have one demo group set up here. So when I open that, you at first have all those group settings, label status and description, and also location rules, where here I set it up to appear on the lesson post type. And then you can insert all your fields here. And as you can see, we have actually a lot of fields, like here, text, password, text area, blah, 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 all sorts of stuff, even color, post object, relationship fields, groups, repeater fields, like everything that you can ask for. We're not mirroring the exact functionality that ACF, etc., all has. I don't want to copy things here really. It's just all the fields that you might want to use on LMS websites, and of course it's like some functionalities that ACF has that we don't have here, but that you most likely also won't need. Like, of course, I also want to be a bit efficient here with what I offer in that plugin. It should fit all together ultimately. And you also have a few options here when you add fields, like required, obviously, but then you can also select that it should show up in the public REST or headless part of BricksMembers. Like, we have a REST API, so that even if, let's say you don't want to use Bricks Builder, for example, for whatever reason, you can actually use BricksMembers together with WordPress headless, and then use Astro or Next.js or so as a front-end renderer for your membership site. And there you can actually use those fields here by just activating this checkbox. Then you can also select that it should show up in the quick edit modal in the content structure UI. And also certain field types are able to show up in Bricks filter elements, so that you can filter your query loops based on those custom fields. And that's also like an advantage by integrating custom fields directly in BricksMembers, because we can integrate them deeper into Bricks Builder then to enhance the features that you might need for your LMS. And then also you can show them in Bricks query loop controls, that like all the controls that we usually add with BricksMembers, and also in Bricks conditions. Of course, you could also use dynamic tags for that. We also use dynamic tags here, and you find that on the website, and of course also in the dynamic tag assistant. But so for example, for conditional logic, you could also just use the dynamic tag of a custom field here. But just to make that a bit nicer for you, you just select that one here, and then you have a native condition directly popping up in Bricks Builder. So you don't actually have to deal with dynamic tags. You just directly use a conditional logic there. So this is how it works. Here you can set everything up. I think that's a great feature. So you don't necessarily need external plugins anymore. And you can also handle migrations here. So you can import all your fields from ACF. You see it directly at the demo group there in ACF setup. And I could just import all those fields. So just click on dry run, and then it would show what it would have imported. I don't do the actual now, because that would be a bit too much. And then you can also migrate alt keys and new keys here. So all you need really is already there if you want to migrate from ACF, for example. But maybe if you have like some really specific functionalities that you use more on front end pages, complicated stuff, then maybe that does not get migrated, because as mentioned before, it's not as feature rich as ACF. That's why I always run the dry run here first, that you see if actually everything would migrate, because otherwise it will give you an error. That's really important. And yeah, as mentioned, we also have SCORM support now. How that works is that you import your SCORM packages here. You can also connect to SCORM Cloud, and then you can assign those packages to certain posts. You can also, as you might have seen that before, do that in the content editor, like here, SCORM package. There you could just select the SCORM package, then assign that to this post here or this course here, for example, in that case. And then that would be available there. And that also works with a new element. Let me see, I should have that here as well. SCORM player here. So there you see the SCORM player. Yeah, I have quite a few sessions here from automated testing. Let's just remove that session management module here. This is too much. Okay, so here you see directly you have the launch session button now, because here, like, it would usually now take automatically the SCORM package that's assigned to that post, and then you could launch that via this button. You can change the button style here, whatever you want. And yeah, then it launches the SCORM session, and it will automatically connect everything. So it's not like that SCORM like integrates directly like with like progress tracking or so from BricksMembers. This is separated. This is because SCORM works a bit differently, and doing such a deep integration is actually really, really complicated. So I did it like that we just use the native SCORM player then that is essentially embedded into your pages here in case you need that. So yeah, this is how SCORM works. I think it's great now, especially that content editor here that makes the LMS experience so much better with BricksMembers. So I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback, how you like all these new additions, and potentially also see what you create with it. So yeah, so much for version 1.3. Also, don't forget, if you have any feature requests or so, go to bricksmembers.com/roadmap. There is a form at the bottom that you can fill out with your ideas, things that you would like to have integrated in BricksMembers. And so we can include that in upcoming versions. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you have a lot of fun with BricksMembers and success. I'm out, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.